My name is Frank Rosenkilde. I've been tattooing as a professional since 1980, but I did tattoo way before, like 76 or 77. I bought my first machine from the old tattoo jack in New York in 77. I tattooed in the red light district for maybe 20 years. Some 8 years at Royal Tattoo, and after that I opened my shop here, Bel Air Tattoo, at Boulevard, Frederiksberg, and we've been here like 15 years now. I have the tattoo studio and the museum. People can enjoy all the stuff I collected all these years. The collection is still growing. The only machine I don't have is my first machine. But I collected since day one, because you couldn't buy anything, so I always very eager to save everything, every little bits and screws and anything I could get my hands on. Like I even collected newspaper clippings before I started tattooing, you know. So my collection was, yeah, since I started tattooing almost, but it's maybe it's the last 20 years that I really started collecting. Of course, a lot of people donate things for me, but I also bought like big collections from people who retired, or sometimes I buy stuff on the internet, and whatever, if there's something interesting, you know. There's this old tattoo Hank from Herning, he closed everything, so I went over there with a friend that bought all his stuff, and another guy, a Swedish guy from Karlstad. Me and another friend, we bought his collection and split it up, and so it's been coming from everywhere. Like the old tattoo Sven, my good friend, he passed away, so the widow gave me everything he had, and now Miss Roxy, she retired, she's giving me like tons of stuff, like little by little, like when she gets it sorted out. So it's still growing, and I kind of almost doesn't have space for it anymore, you know. But now some of my collection has gone to the Maritime Museum in Elsinore. They just picked it up the other day, so some people, oh, why can you do that? Well, now it's in a museum where there's like 100,000 people seeing it instead of 100 people here a year, you know. So I think it's good it comes to a space like that, and they have like a big permanent exhibition of tattoos. Crazy to see today, like what you can get and buy, like from the days when we had to do everything, making needles all the time and cut our own springs and wind our own coils sometimes, and all kinds of stuff. And today you can order a complete studio from day to day. Yeah, from being a tattooer you had to learn, like, adjust your machines, you bend your springs, cut them and file and twist and solder and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. And today, oh, it doesn't work anymore, I'll buy a new, you know. Of course it is some places, so some people that still use coil machines, like myself, but many, they'll just order a new machine, because it doesn't work anymore. Today you can buy so many different kind of contraptions of needles and machines with different strokes. You just adjusted it, like it's made everything very easy. You don't have to. Well, you can even like Google everything and find tricks on the internet, you know. When I started, everybody used like a 3-liner and a 7-round shader. That was all, everybody used that. And you had to be good to do like a nice tree liner, solar that. That was really a trick to learn. What really happened and changed lots of things here in Denmark was when Mike Malone and Kenny Everett came. And wow, they're using magnums and flat shaders and what the fuck is that? You know? and we didn't have to fight with doing the nice shading with a round shader like it. But it took some years before. Maybe it was around 1980, but it took like maybe 10 years before many of us used magnums.
Sure.
But it was like an eye opener, and it changed the style and stuff, you know, and especially the shading. When I started, and even when I got tattooed, you would walk down and get the old sailor tattoos, you know, a ship and a sailor's grave and a sailor girl and an anchor and all that stuff. Like me and all my buddies got those tattoos because that was all that you could get, like in the 70s, you know. And that was also what I started tattooing. And I remember me and Henning and this Finn that we were the young ones. We tried to like, oh, we gotta make some thinner lines and put some other colors like purple and stuff, you know, in it, you know, and twist it up a bit. But it was still the same old designs. But then there came a few new techniques, and we found out, oh, you could put a power line on it and stuff like that, like on bigger work, you know. But it actually took me some years, maybe until the 90s, before the style really changed. We started to do Vikings and Celtic stuff, you know, like kind of moved away from the really old designs. Of course, there was some that we tried to find new kind of designs, but it was still lots of old style designs. But I already worked in street shops, so I was used to do anything that people wanted, like it could be traditional stuff or some black and gray or some Japanese, or you know, so you just adapted and learned to do anything that people wanted, because it was street shops for like 20 years maybe, you know. Like around the 1990s, it kind of started like new styles, like but it doesn't sound like anything like you did Vikings and Viking heads and all the Celtic stuff, and then the Nordic style kind of evolved from the Celtic. Like back in the days, we used to go to anything, like Sweden, lots of time to Dunstable in England, and many times to Amsterdam and stuff like that. I've been to a few conventions in the States as well, like in San Diego and Tucson and Hollywood. But I don't do it that much anymore. But if there's one close by, like I went to one in Italy. That was when I was on vacation. If I see something around, I would go and see it. You know. But,
sure.
And I've been I've been to this with my old boss. We went down to Amsterdam to the big one that Gideon had on. But I worked on a few ones some years ago, but there's also this one called Prisoning. I used to bring all my stuff there, make small exhibitions there.
Sure.
But it's so much job, so I don't really do it anymore. But it's always fun to be at conventions, like mostly the smaller ones where you know a lot of people. It's not like like when you went to Amsterdam back in the days, you knew everyone that was there. You knew all the names. Now I remember this in Amsterdam, I was walking around. I don't know anyone. I didn't know any names. There's so many artists today, you know. So it's really, even here in Denmark, it's hard for me to keep up. Back in the days, but also there you would be like 30 artists in all of Denmark, like in the 90s, you know. So today I don't know, thousands. You can't keep up and know everyone. I don't know, 5-6 machines that kind of comes into circulation, and then sometimes I will pick up another one. Oh, you see, this one I used a lot. I'll take it back in circulation.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know. So, but I have a Jim Rosal liner and a liner from Tom Söderman in Sweden. That's my liners that I use all the time, and I don't use anything else. Now I had also had a Jim Rosal shader, and I even have my good old Mickey Sharps that I've been using. So I have like once in a while I'll go through my stuff. Oh, this was a good machine, you know. I'll take that one back and use that for a while. Yeah. But it's not that, but I use the same machines almost all the time. It's not that I just pick out something, you know. I have my favorites, you know. So all this is it's come from my heart. It's my whole life. All this collection. I love it. First I had the shop there, and after a while this was for rent, so we opened the space here and made the waiting room museum here. But the plans are that I will take parts out to save for some museum. Maybe the Workers' Museum here in Copenhagen, or there's also like a fisherman's museum in Esbjerg, or the Maritime Museum there. But I'll figure out who is getting what. Sure. But of course there's a lot of stuff that I have. Like, I know that the museum has no use for it, so, and a lot of stuff is not all are real collector's items. So sure. I might something might be go to other collectors or something like that. Or whatever, but it's not going to be split up like that. You see a lot of people that just sell everything. Yeah. I'm really like, there's some really special Danish old stuff. It's not going to go outside Denmark or anything. It's gotta stay here somewhere. But also a lot of people come and see it. Yeah. So I have people from all around the world, from the States or South America, Italy. Yeah. Come to see it, so I really enjoy it. Also, that people comes by and ask. Sometimes I'll put a day off, and then I see many people. Oh man, you were so happy that you made the time, you know. I just enjoy sharing the history, you know, because I remember sitting with the old tattoo Ole, and he would say, "Oh, there used to be some, you know, they call it on the other side of Newhouse. That's the nice side." And then there was a side with the tattooers and all the bars. And then it was, there was some tattooers on på den pæne side, on the nice side, you know. And it was like, who are they? Oh, I found out, there was this guy, Arne and Holger. And actually, it took me a year or something like that. And then I found the son to Arne, one of the tattooers. And then I rolled up the whole story, and, you know, so I put it back on the map, kind of, you know. That's the stuff that I enjoy, like finding out, and I did it many times. Finding it from a surname and stuff, you know, and finding the history and putting it back on the map so people know the history. Right? All tattooing came out of Copenhagen until 1980. I would say. Before that, there was no tattooing in the rest of Scandinavia. There was a real tattoo shop from, I think it was 1947, when Tattoo got the shop. But before that, there would always be like a corner or a part of the shop with some tattooing. Or even they say like, oh, this was a tattoo shop since 1980. Or something like that. Yeah. But at that time it was a bar, so they would have like a table in the corner in the back. Tattooing. But there was tattooing going on on and off, and you see like, at this point 1904 there was an English tattooer there, and then you see all of 1910 there was this guy. He has like a Danish skibsproviantering, you know, where people that would go on the ships, they would go down and get new mattresses and stuff, you know. So, but he had tattooing on the side as well. So it was also like there's like 2 small rooms. So I think there's been like tattooing there going on.
Yeah,
Not a real tattoo shop, but there was some tattooing going on for since way back.
Sure.
You will find traces. You will see that then there was this American tattooer tattooing in Nyhavn, but also on a bar or whatever, or a corner in some kind of shop. So it's been going on not only in Nyhavn 17, but in many places in Nyhavn. You would get like a corner or
you could
like,
find something.
You could put up a little sign in the window in a bar or a barber shop or whatever. You know.
I think that at the time, mostly close to the sea, you can find some tattoo shop, maybe just hidden, but you can find some.
Yeah. But it's a funny thing. Like it was only here in Copenhagen. In the rest of Scandinavia, you would not see it. There was only like maybe early in Stockholm or in Gothenburg for some years, but not like in Denmark where it continued.
Yeah, sure.
But the reason is there was no bars, there was not this harbor environment like in Denmark with lots of bars and prostitutes and all kinds of stuff going around. But that didn't happen like in Oslo or in Stockholm or Helsinki. No places in Scandinavia had it. So of course we had like Ove Skov, Dog Forest in Stockholm for many years.
Okay.
But before that he tried to, I think he put out like, oh, you've got to register by the health department, you cannot get a permission, blah 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 blah, and nobody opened in Sweden. Right. But then these 2 guys, Oskar Lagoni and Mikael Christensen, and the Swedish Andy Larsson, they opened up in Gothenburg.
Okay.
And then poof. Then people start, oh, you can just open a tattoo shop. To me, it was there the tattoo scene like in Sweden opened up and got big, and then Mikael Christensen, they were partners, Michael and Oscar. He moved to Oslo, and then the same thing happened. But that was also around 1980. Sure. And then there started to be a tattoo scene in Oslo. When I started, we would tattoo with anything we could get away.
Sure.
From anything, like any kind of inks or finger paints or whatever, you know. It didn't end good all the times. Sometimes I remember we got this cadmium red and cadmium yellow. Yeah. They were bright as but then the sun hit it, you know. It was crazy. And cadmium is actually could get cancer from cadmium.
Sure.
Like in big, like if you get exposed a lot to it, but who knows? They look good. They just powder from you when you get your powders from art painting. So we just let me get a kilo of that and that. Call it a chemical factory. You could get samples. They had like hundreds of concentrated pasta paste. And you could get like a sample for free almost.
Sure.
And we would get those, but they were like they looked. You could get a red, but it was almost dark. They were so dark because it was so concentrated. I remember buying the first time from the States.
Yeah.
First of all, you had to find the address. If you would find it in some of those Easy Rider biker magazines. There were some really small ads, you know. You would write for $10. You go to the bank and get $10 and send that and get the catalog.
Sure.
Then you would get the catalog and then you would make an invoice and send that by post. And then you would get a pro forma bill back. And then you would go to the bank and make a check. And then you would send the check. And after the check was cleared, he would send the goods. And after that, the customers would take your goods and keep them for some weeks, you know. And then you had to pay the toll and the moms and the stuff, like the sales taxes. Remember, it took 3 months. 3 months. It was crazy. It comes to came by ship back then. Still have some of the powders came in bags like these. I still have some of them. I still have the first bags I bought.
It's amazing. I remember that
This is my first bottle of black ink.
Yeah.
Rønnings tusch. Pelican and tailends and
the tailends.
But we use this rotring.
Yeah.
It was not that bad. It was actually good. But that at the point they changed the formula in it. I think it more maybe with this Pelican.
Yeah.
It is actually a glass bottle in that paper one.
Yeah.
I think it's maybe 50 years old.
Oh.
And I don't want to take the bottle out, you know.
No,
take
sure.
the label. It's so nice. It's like new.
Yeah, sure.
If you like to do tattoos, I think you should.
Yeah,
learn
you should
a bit,
know
just something about the history of tattooing. Not that it's necessary for that to do tattooing, but just of respect and just to be able to talk and tell people something about your job and your profession.
Sure, yeah.
You have to learn something.
Yeah. You have to talk to other people.
Yeah. But that's also, like I said it before, like I think it's a big job for me to kind of educate some of the younger ones.
Yeah. Because for me, every time that I have the opportunity to talk with someone that know more than me for sure, it's amazing. For me, it's something that I will that I will have for all my life in my mind, and it's something that I can talk with some other people. It's
but
really
it's
amazing.
like sometimes I remember sitting going down to Ole or Svend or this guy Bimbo, Jørgen Thorstein, that worked at Tattoo Jack. Me and my old boss, we used to just go and visit and talk. But it's like sometimes I remember almost everything that happens when we were down there. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I even remember when I got tattooed by this Herbert Hoffman when I was a kid, 16 years old. I was out sailing with the ships. And I remember everything that happened in that shop that day. It's not like today, you can just Google it. Or, on YouTube it, and then you learn everything. Almost.
Yeah, it's kind of easy. Yes.
It is easy.
Yeah.
We just even buy books and videos and with the right mind you can learn a lot of things.
I remember when I started seeing like videos on YouTube. I was, I think, 20 years old.
Yeah.
You used to sew needles too?
Yeah. We did that for many years. Up until 2000, something like that, or 2005 maybe. We still used to
need time to prepare flux.
But there was not that many good needles in the beginning.
Yeah.
I think there was only this from Spain, Alchemia. That was first one to where you could buy already soldered needles, and that was crap needles.
Yeah.
But I tried them.
Sure.
I remember the worst thing was the aligners. I think they were always like problems with them.
Yeah.
So I think I started using, like, I don't know what they had. Maybe they had round shaders and magnums, and then I still did my own liners, I think.
Yeah.
And then you know it grew, and more people and companies made needles. So and today there's so many needles, it's even hard to navigate through who do the best needles. Blah, 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 you know.
And now it's also difficult to find the disposable tubes. I asked sometimes.
Yeah, I've seen that. Because there's so many people using cartridges.
I asked in a convention, and the guy just looking at me in a weird way and said, "Okay, just wait. I have to search it because no one used to buy now the disposable tubes." So he started like searching somewhere, and he had just one.
Yeah, but I can even see like with needles, like standard needles. That's also getting when we used to buy them, they don't have that big sortiment anymore. So
you're right.
So maybe we'll have to go back and make needles ourselves again. I remember sitting a couple of times, every 2 times a month, like doing needles for 14 days, you know, like a whole evening, you know.
Sure.
It wasn't fun.
No.
Well, it was fun, but it's not. But it was good to do, that you could do it, you know. You know exactly how your needles was. So, but it's like we are talking with many. Oh, what's happening now? Like there's many people that are not that busy. But it's always been like that. Like also in back in the days, you would have like some years, like 5 years. Oh, everybody's busy. Then there would be like a drop down for some years, and then it would come up again. It's always been like that.
Yeah.
But now this time from I would say like from 2000 on, it's just been going up, and I'm pretty sure like that this big bubble has burst now.
Yeah.
And now you see people working for making 200 kroner tattoos, you know,
sure,
that because they cannot, and they will not survive.
Yeah.
Maybe it's all the crappy tattoos that will survive. I don't know. It's terrible to see like the people that when they don't have that much work, they think they will. The solution is just to drop prices.
Yeah.
But then they will have to do like 5 tattoos at 200 kroner each instead of one good tattoo at 1,000. That would be better.
Yeah,
they don't think that. They think that we can just have a lot of people coming in and make big, cheap tattoos, but it won't solve anything in the end.
Sometimes the customer, it's some customer, I don't want to say everyone, don't think about there is something that you will have for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So the good thing is that it's cheap. Yeah.
Tattoo is not the same.
Sure.
It's bad quality. Poor quality.
Yeah.
It's like buying some cheap clothes like in Bilka or
sure.
Filtex, you know. It looks nice, but you will wash it 3 times. It's always like it's like buying anything like a cheap car. It's really cheap. Of course, there's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
You can't get it.
You need to find a balance.
You can't get this good quality at this price. It's not possible, you know.
Yeah.
So how can they do a tattoo for 200 kroner?
Come on.
Buy some cheap crap
you have
inks or
to pay
whatever.
taxes, you have to pay.
They have to cut somewhere.
Yeah.
If they don't buy Wish inks, then they don't pay taxes or something. So there's something wrong somewhere.
Sure,
There will be when
sure.
you do those cheap.
Yeah.
When you see it, that's my opinion.
No. It's right. I also have seen some customers that say, what is like the minimum price? And they say, okay, I will tell you my price. Yeah, thank you. But it's weird. So for sure, you would like to spend the less as possible. I understand.
Everybody's like that. Everybody's like that. But you also have to think a little like, what do you get? This is one of Ole Hansen's machines. 1958. And I kind of tried to figure out because they have numbers. This was number 57. And I think he might have done like 100. I see high numbers like 86 is the highest I see. He did a few changes to the frame, just a little, but it's almost the same frame. This is number 3 from 1970. Also, this has some dark resin. And the other one, this is quite rare with the dark resin. But like I told you before, a lot of people kind of copied the frame from him. We have a tattoo Danny. We made like 50 for Danny and 50 for Sven. So but there's not many left of Danish machines. I have a few of Sven's. We saw some in the cabinet, but quite a few made copies of these machines.
This is the one with the cable.
This is also Danny, but this is a Tattoo Bimbo, Jon Thorstein machine. He worked at Tattoo Jacks and also many years for Ole. One also the same frame by a guy called Richard, and also the same frame. I think this is some of Ole's frames because I looked at some other frames and I can still see some of the numbers. The one I saw you, number 3. So he took the frames, put his own name on, and changed them a bit. So this is same frame. Just a bit different. I tried to figure out who made it, but it came from this old tattoo Hank of Herning.
Because there is no name.
It is the same frame, but I don't know the history about it. But it's this frame. I have a Hoffman machine as well. And Arno Zweikart.
I love this one.
Peter de Haan. of Hamburg. Eddie gave this one. Peter's son gave me this one.
Yeah.
I was searching for one for years. I was just about to pass out when he gave me this one. When I was visiting.
Yeah.
I never thought I would get any.
Yeah.
But then when I
really cool,
came home and I had this machine from Arno Zweighardt.
Yeah.
And then I said, wow, I always thought it was a Tattoo-Ole machine. It has Tattoo-Ole coils and all the screws and stuff.
Yeah.
It's definitely Tattoo-Ole and the plugs and everything. But it is a Peter de Haan frame, 100%. Yeah. So we always heard this history. Oh, Arne's machines the frames must have came from Holland.
Yeah.
And it did. It is a Peter de Haan frame, but with Tattoo-Ole. What do you call it? Gear on it. Just got it recently. It's actually a Swedish guy that had this, Paul Rogers. Yeah.
It's really amazing.
Yeah, from 1987. I think it is what do you call it? A Supreme frame.
The Supreme frame. Yeah.
That he built them on. But there's no doubt but I can see the coils are old Spalding coils with the square bottom, but he cut the corners off.
And this is from MASAMUNE?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Automatic.
Yeah.
And what I feel, I like a machine like this here. This is there's a cool history about this one.
Yeah.
It's from Cliff Raven, also a famous tattooer from the States.
Yeah.
But it was this guy, Jørgen Næstved, as we call him, Jørgen Evers. He had these two machines. He was a electrician on a ship.
Okay.
And in the 70s, they were in the States. He went and bought these two machines of Cliff Raven. And we always remember Henning. Oh, I remember Jørgen having these machines. They were kind of, wow, we only had old Danish machines.
Sure,
nobody had
this stuff, kind of.
And then many, like 40 years later, Jørgen passed away, and the guys that took over the shop, they gave me these Jørgen's two old personal machines for the collection.
Yeah.
That's how also like, wow, there's so much history in this.
Sure, yeah.
It's only like nerds like me and you know.
Yeah.
Wow, he bought it from Cliff Raven and brought it back and tattooed it here in Copenhagen with this one. It's and I love these when there's all this history to them.
Sure, yeah. Everything here is.
Then there's a ton of stuff here, like I talked about, like we bought these collections, and so many unidentified machines yet. But little by little, today we have so many forums and stuff on. This kind of look like this. I make screenshots. I make like albums, and I flip through. Oh, there it is.
Maybe it's this one.
Yeah. So
sure. It's really amazing.
But then also there's many machines that look so alike, and you will see like, I see the people like, oh, this is a blah 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 blah. No. Look at the coils. Look at the screws. It has a hex with your umbraco, blah blah blah.
Sure.
It's not from 1960. No, nobody used that kind of screws or coils or whatever back then. Then again, some you would have like an old machine and people would restore it with modern parts, and that's then kind of ruin it. You know?
We talked also about the Paul Rogers machines.
Yeah.
That on the core, it's on the core. Yeah, there's like a line. On the washer.
Yeah. It's also.
So you maybe sometimes can understand that it's from Paul Rogers. Also if there is nothing written on.
Yeah, I do have another Paul Rogers.
Yeah.
But I was not. Many years ago. There was no name on it back then. There was just a little. Then it got painted and stuff, and it didn't work that well. So I had Jim Rose. I still have the coils and the original springs and everything, but it is stamped here on the A-bar, Paul Rogers.
Yeah.
So, but it didn't run good back then. So
so
I had Jim Rose. It's really a nice machine.
Yeah, it is.
It didn't work that good back then. It's an original tattoo jack machine.
Yeah.
This is like the first one I bought from Jack.
It's amazing.
Then I got these from Sven. It was missing a few parts, so but I found the old original plugs for it.
Yeah.
And the top screw I also found. So it was missing these and the top.
Sure.
But, and then I had put one of my old grips on it.
Yeah.
So this looks like my first machine now.
Yeah.
And then this one, it was only a frame, but I was lucky to find two original old tattoo jack coils.
Yeah.
And I had this one. It's not chromed, it has to be chromed, and I'm still looking for the old plugs for this one. But at a point it will be put together.
Sure.
And I had and then it had the wrong screws.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
It had to be the round ones on
okay.
machines.
Yeah. He used to have the round one.
Because it had the ones that does like this, and they will sit out here.
Yeah.
But it needs to have the right one, so they are square with one. So that's also sometimes when you people say, oh, this is blah 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 English or American old blah blah blah. Then you say, oh, it got metric. That's not American or English, because I think up until the 70s it would always be imperial on British and American.
Sure.
But sometimes then I say, then you get somebody that's been using this machine for years and years, and then he would put other coils or blah blah blah, and then it would be changed to metric.
Sure. You know? Yeah.
Sometimes I have an old machine, I can't have it. Oh, these coils are wrong, and then I have old coils. Sometimes I got from Sven's, there was some bags of all kinds, and then there was like a good set of coils, and then I had to rewound and find old tape, so they look correct.
Yeah.
You're right. Everything has to be like in order.
I'm really happy to talk about all of this with you, because there are not a lot of people with your knowledge nowadays.
No, there's not many left.
So no, at
even
all.
Like my good friend Kim, he used to be around. He started at Tattoo Jacks in the 70s.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I ask him about something, he says stuff, yeah, I made these, blah 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 blah. And then I said, well, but you see the top of the coil?
Yeah.
You said like blah blah blah. And back then you said you used the red plastics on the first ones, so it cannot be blah blah blah. Oh, you're right, Frank. Yeah, it must be like you said. It was like with Sven. He was like, oh, I can't recall when I opened the shop. Well, Sven, you said like you were at Sven's in 72 and blah blah blah, and this guy Peter, he passed away, blah 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 there. So in 72 you were at Tattoo Jacks, but after that, so you must have been opening your shop in 73. Yeah, you're right. 73 was me. Sometimes I see this. There's this old movie with Sven also, like, and then there's another. Like a newspaper clipping also that we found from Sweden. And then there's these two guys that like two artists, and they were about to make a movie about tattooing, but they never made it.
Yeah.
And then we talk about this and that and blah blah blah, and then in the same newspaper clipping you'd see the old Tattoo Peter as well.
Yeah.
And then, but Sven, like, look there, he blah 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 blah. You must have been working there in 1969 because blah 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 blah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I have some cool stuff here also. It's
the colors are amazing.
It's from Bob Robert. He passed away a few years also. Yeah. But he painted this for Sven.
Yeah. This is an original one?
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's Ed Hardy Designs for Sven by Bob Roberts. It's really also kind of holy grail stuff,
Sure, yeah.
But I have more like this. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because this one is the best. Oh. This is for Sven.
Yeah. Oh, from Rollo.
From Rollo. From when he worked at China Sea in Hawaii. I remember I post this sometimes and people, wow, that is.
Yeah.
Because it was like, people remember this one from way back. Oh, this Roxy stuff here.
Yeah.
also 1983. It's the first Danish female tattoo artist.
Oh,
We had, there was a couple in England like Rusty Schools and some other ones, but she was one of the first.
Yeah.
But even like the first in Scandinavia. This is from my old friend Sven Kukkeri from Nyhavn. It's all his old machines, his personal machines. All these machines were built by Sven Kukkeri.
By himself?
Yeah. He's standing up there watching. See him?
Yeah.
Hi Sven. Making needles.
Yeah.
Jigs to put them up and line them up and solder them. So this one, I think this was one of the first ones.
Yeah.
The first jig he made. When he passed away and the family was going through it, he had cabinets and cabinets and drawers and drawers with all the stuff for the mills, for the lattes.
Yeah, sure.
This cabinet used to, Sven used to be
build
fishing.
Have you seen that one? The machine in the center.
Yeah, this one I don't know about, but it was in between Sven's stuff. I don't know if it was Sven that made it. It looks like some kind of blacksmith that made it.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and it's really? I don't know. I think it's 500 grams or something like that.
Huge coils.
Yeah. But the funny thing is this: I'd never seen this.
Yeah.
I saw there was Brett Stewart from Australia. He said, "Oh, I only ever seen this on some Australian machines.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this system on anywhere
really
before." But
it's amazing.
Sometimes you'll see like people coming up with ideas that that they're sure they invented, but actually someone has invented it before.
Sure. Yeah.
It was a good idea, but it was already there. But it was kind of then it was forgotten. Kind of. There's some really special features on the Danish machines, like the rubber, rubber cork, rubber punch, and the wire switch, and
it works like a pedal, right?
Yeah. So instead of a pedal, you had this switch. Yeah, you had to put it hold tight on it. Otherwise it would get busted. Also here it's Danish machines from Lille Kim. He made tons of machines. Also another one of Kai's and Jan and John, and this is also a legendary one, Tattoo Gym of Aarhus.
Yeah,
He was really famous for these wooden grip. That's a Danish thing with the wooden grip. Photos I can see Tattoo Bob used the wooden grips way before Peter did, so I know it's Danish.
And Tattoo Bob from where?
He was in Nyhavn as well, like in the small street.
Yeah.
Lille Strandstræde. Favorites is here, all these. This is from my old boss, Kai Platek. He had made up like lots of machines, and this is the green ones, the old shavers. This is and the big red power supply. That's from his days when he worked at the carnivals and traveled around. But all these machines are from Kai, my old boss. He had these made. There's a few different models. These are my own old stuff from the days in the red light district.